Hello! Hi, beautiful friends. So, I am so happy to be here with you right here, right now, today for our live Treasure Tuesday. I encourage you right now to take a breath, take a glass of water or a cup of tea, and join me on this amazing summer day. Or for those of you watching this later in life on a winter day, or if you're in another part of the world, winter. These are really powerful times right now, as they always are. And I wanted to speak to a topic that it's just been coming up so much in my inbox, in my email inbox, that is. Last month I had somebody reach out from my community who had such a sincere request that I really wanted to make a video for her. And I don't have her actual letter in front of me because I left my iPad upstairs and I'm too lazy to go upstairs and get it. But the summary of what she said in her letter is that she doesn't feel like she will ever get out of the poverty and the victim mentality that she is in. She feels like she has tried everything and she's just lost basically everyone she loved. It's a whole long story. I don't need to get into it. But she's really in a tough place. She's in a new city. She lost her job. She has no income. She doesn't have anyone to turn to. Hello! I'm going to be answering questions at the end of this. So if you guys have any, type them in for sure. But, it's the way she described it is that she feels like her whole life was in a house and that house burned down and she's just standing there alone, naked, raw, with nothing, and she feels like she's stuck in a victim mindset and like she'll never get out of it. Hello, Monique from the Netherlands. So I wanted to speak to this, and then I got another email last week. So her email came in last month, and I got another email last week from somebody who, she was on fire, so upset that she's in this job that she hates. In the email, she used the word hate many, many times when referring to her job, and I could feel her anger and her fierceness and her feeling of powerlessness, which is what today's video is about. So if you feel like you're powerless in your life, or you work with clients as a coach, then this video can be used, to address victim mentality or victim conscissness when you're working with yourself or with clients. Istanbul. Jason and I are headed to Turkey in 6 weeks. Yeah. So here's the thing, victim consciousness, some of you may not resonate with that word at all. And from personal experience, I'm going to say that I never in my life identified with being a victim, but the truth was unconsciously for most of my life, I was playing what Jason once called, when we first got together, a damsel in distress, which is what a victim is. Like, whoa, woe is me, please help me. Our culture is very much so geared towards promoting victims. Our government teaches us that the power is out there. Religion teaches us that the power is out there. We go to schools and we're stuffed with knowledge rather than asked to invoke the creativity and the genius that's inside of us. Our entire setup is basically, hi guys. I am super serious right now because this topic has got to be addressed. I'm just honestly compassionate and tired of receiving emails like this because I see the power in you. I see the power in each person who reaches out to me. I know this power that's inside, and look who just showed up. Hi, cutie. That's Stella. Speaking of power, true power. So anyway, in today's video, we're going to dive into the 4 keys to transforming out of victim consciousness and coming into true power. True power. We're going to talk about what true power is. So personally, in my own life, I had no idea I was running victim consciousness, but I definitely was. And what victim consciousness is, it's usually a strategy that's developed in childhood. It's something that we use as little kids to get attention or to get what we want from our parents. And oftentimes it works, but in adulthood, it does not work. So an example of this is to kick and scream because somebody didn't give you whatever you wanted, or maybe you didn't get let's say in adulthood, you didn't get the job, or you didn't get the relationship, or somebody said something harsh to you, or whatever, something didn't work out in your favor, and so you cry or you just crumble and fall apart. And unconsciously, this is often a it's so good to be here with you live too. I just want to hear what's going on with you guys, but let me share this, and then we're going to dive into some Q&A if you guys have questions. So in adulthood, it's really important to recognize if victim consciousness is playing out in your life. And if it is the very reason why you're not getting X, Y, or Z, or why you're not feeling the happiness, the true, sincere fulfillment in your life every single day. And yes, it is possible to feel fulfilled every day, even when shabeep hits the fan, even when challenges are going on. So, the first step to, if let's say this girl whose life just basically burned down is the way she's expressed it, and she's in a new city, she's terrified, she has no money, she's terrified she's about to go homeless, she has no idea what to do, with herself, she has no support at all. That's a freaking terrifying place to be. So it's important to recognize that she's very aware, and she's like, victim consciousness is running her life right now, and she doesn't feel like she can break out of it. That's a very powerful awareness. So the first step to actually breaking through victim consciousness is, number one, to validate the victim. You're not going to hear this often, and this is the bottom line truth from my own life. The victim is ultimately the inner child, the little one inside that was constantly put in other people's hands, never having the ability to stand up for his or herself, to, be heard. As little kids, we're totally subject to our parents or to authority figures. So that little one inside needs to be validated. That little one inside needs to be told and held and accepted as he or she is. And what I mean by this is that oftentimes we play victim because that part of ourselves that is feeling powerless, like the inner child, is just wanting somebody to say, I see you and I totally understand why you are so upset and why you feel like you're doomed. I totally understand. The problem is, even when we play damsel in distress, or we play the victim, and people come around and they actually give us what we want, which is this strategy, like to play the victim, there are many control strategies. One of them is victim. Another one could be blame. Another one could be rage and anger. There are many different ways that we can manipulate people, but the victim is what we're talking about today. And so when something's really challenging in your life and you play the damsel in distress and somebody runs in, even if they look at you and they give you everything you want, that is never going to fill the infinite. It feels like it's an endless void inside, because the only person that can actually fill that hole inside, the place inside that feels so lost, wounded, broken, victimized, like life will never be the same again, like there's no way to feel whole, there's no way to feel empowered. The only person who can satiate that hunger for acceptance is you. And this is something I learned in my own life, because I reached the pinnacle, I reached the top, and I was with a man at the time who was literally the most incredibly loving, generous, kind person, who just gave me literally everything. And I still felt like a mad, crazy, angry victim because I hadn't looked myself in the eyes, embraced that little girl inside, and said, honey, I love you so much as you are, and I understand why you are in so much pain, given the circumstances you were in as a child, or given whatever the circumstances were. The first step to transforming the victim is to validate the victim. Most people, they just say, oh, let it go, just drop it. Da, 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 da. This is the core foundation of why most people stay locked and looped. They're not being compassionate with themselves. They're not being understanding and loving and kind and patient with the healing process. Okay, and this is an acronym, by the way, these 4 steps to help you remember. The V is validate the victim, so it's a V, and the word is volt, like the electricity volt. The second step is to own you're a creator. Own the reality that you are a creative powerhouse. This is a hard one for people to swallow, not because of the fact that you can create great things, but because everything that we're creating in our lives is ultimately a result of our own thoughts, of our own choices, of our own what we choose to empower, the actions that we're taking, the actions we're not taking. But most importantly, to own the fact that we haven't actually loved that child inside or validated that victim inside, that we are responsible for that. And most people don't want to leave the victim mentality. If you really get down to it, if I knew back in 2009 what it was going to take for me to break into an empowered woman, I probably would have turned back and married the guy I was with. And I'm serious. Because what happens when you have to transform the victim? What's required of you, gulp, is everything. Whew. And I mean everything. Everything. I had to give up my self-image. I had to give up my friends. I had to give up going out. I had to give up this idea that, I literally had to take on 3 jobs. I had to move to LA. I would wake up in the mornings coming from the Redwoods. Every morning I'd get my tea and my hands would be shaking so hard because my nervous system was so shot, because I was so overwhelmed, because I was learning to fight for myself. I was learning to take on 3 jobs. I was learning to power up. I was learning to activate the more masculine side of my personality, and my nervous system was totally overwhelmed, and I would be spilling the tea as I was drinking it, literally. And every day I thought to myself, I have to go back to the Redwoods. I have to leave this relationship with Jason. I have to just go back and crawl into a shell. I can't do it. And that's a sign that you're living in victim mentality. If you have the words or the thoughts, I can't do it, I'm not capable, I'm doomed, save me. So this second key to own your creative power is a really, really essential one, a really, really important one, which leads me to the third one. Oh my goodness. I can go really deep into all of these. We're going to go into this more deeply in the coach lab because we're going to be teaching this for coaches, but this is just for the general family here right now. And the third step is to, you ready? Let go of false gods. Let go of false gods. And what I mean by that is that nobody is coming. Nobody is coming to save you or me. And this was so this means no government, no religion, no boyfriend, no girlfriend, no husband, no wife, no paycheck, no perfect body, no dress, no wardrobe, nothing is coming to save you out of the pain. It is an inside job and there's no way around it. And for me, what I think I was given, like this beautiful gift in being with my ex-partner, is that he gave me everything. So I was in you guys have heard the story if you read The Diamond Process, but I had everything. I was at the pinnacle. So all those false gods, they were mine. I had them. I had the money, I had the body, I had the community, I had the marriage, the engagement, I had the houses, I had the travels around the world, I had the image, I had the whole thing. I had an infinite supply of financial currency, of purchasing power, and I was miserable inside and it didn't even matter how loving my community or beloved at the time was. It was still a false god because I was expecting someone outside to fill me up and they couldn't, no matter how much they gave me. So the key is to go from this false god out there to putting such solid core, and Melissa, you'll get this and love this, boundaries up in your life. That what I mean by that is, for example, I stopped going out for years, literally stopped hanging out with people, stopped going out because I knew that I needed, in order to build myself financially, I was at ground zero, like I had nothing at all. Actually, I was in a lot of debt at the time, and that's a whole story that I'll address in the future, now that it's behind me. But I was just trying to build myself up, get my feet on the ground, find myself, love myself, heal my wounds, and also create a life for myself. And what I had to do was eliminate all distractions. So everything went into my business. Everything went into anything that I could do to make money and serve people, and also heal my heart. So that required moving from false gods, like doing things that maybe go flirt with someone and feel temporarily like, yay, oh my God, I'm still pretty, or whatever it is, which is what I used to do. And instead, sit in the muck at home, have those boundaries up, drop the false gods and the praise from out there, and turn inside and send that praise into that little girl inside, into oneself. Do the deep work. Do the freaking inner work. As Marianne Williamson says, go deep in here so you can grow big out there. Go deep in here so you can grow big out there. It's all an inside job. Nothing out there is going to save you or me. That's a tough one, and that was a super tough one for me to swallow. And this one takes mega awareness to look at anywhere in your life that you might be waiting or wishing for someone to rescue you. There are a million ways I was doing this. My parents, my fiance at the time, especially those two. It was just, bosses, people I was working for, anyone who had some sort of power or money or stability. It was just playing this little game to come and save me, to play victim, to play like, I can't do it, I'm a damsel in distress. I wasn't aware I was doing it, but I was doing that. Okay, so first we have validate the victim. The second is to own the powerful creator that you are. Take responsibility. Own the fact that you are creating everything good and bad right now. And you have the power, even when things are terrible in your life, you can choose your mindset. You can choose your mindset. One of my mentors, a living guru actually that I sit with, it's going to bring tears to my eyes. He's amazing, and he has every health condition you can imagine. He's sick, physically sick. And his teaching is that it doesn't matter what the body is going through. Your state of consciousness is always in your power. That's how powerful you are. You are literally a creator. You are part of the creator. You are here to create. So this is how you transform, dropping the excuses, I should pity myself right now, and instead go, you know what? What can you be grateful for? While also being compassionate and gentle. It's this beautiful, delicate balance. The third thing is let go of false gods, like we just talked about. And the fourth is to take total responsibility for your life. And this is about coming into true power. Oh my God. Okay, I'm excited for this. You know why? Because I learned this from Leonard Jacobson, and this one teaching changed my whole life. When you take total responsibility for your life, it means nobody is to blame. There is not one person on the planet, even if you were victimized, if you were brutalized, if you were terrorized in your past. If you're still suffering, first of all, if you're still suffering, I love you, and I really have deep, deep compassion for anyone out there who's suffering, including the two women who wrote to me. And this is tough for me to say out loud, okay, but it is the absolute truth. You are fully responsible for yourself and for your life. And until you choose that, until you fully, fully choose that, and look at any ways that you're trying to blame other people or turn it over to someone else to take care of you, it's a really, really important thing to just look at and become inquisitive about and introspective about, and make a list. Where are the places that I am giving my power away, or defaulting my power to somebody else, or blaming somebody for my misery, especially blaming anyone in your past, your parents, an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend, anyone, for what you're experiencing today. Because the truth is, the wounds that you have endured because of somebody else's brutality do not define you. The only thing that defines you is your choice to use those wounds to heal. As Rumi says, the wounds is where the light enters. The wounds are where the light enters. There's no coincidence that if you look at successful people or happy people or thriving people, most of them have gone through extreme hardship, extreme hardship. Other people have gone through those same hardships and they crumble. It's not because there's a type of person that is it's not because some people can do it and others can't. It's literally a pivot right here in the mind that says, I can do this. I take full responsibility for my life. I don't care if it takes 50 years. I'm gonna let this fire burn me until I become a diamond, until I become a glorious, I'm gonna use this flame to help me rebirth into the phoenix, into the truth of who I am. And I don't care how long it takes. I trust, I'm patient, I'm getting up, I'm showing up every day, I'm being kind to myself, I'm being gentle. It's just again and again and again, continuously remembering that you taking control of your life is the power. You taking full responsibility of your life is the power. So the way to do that, and this is what I learned from Leonard Jacobson, true power, it's so simple. It's so simple. Like, I wish people taught this in school. True power is asking for what you want or asking people to stop what you don't want, purely and lovingly, free of attachment. It's asking for what you need. Hello, Arash. Mwah. Asking for what you want, asking people to stop what you don't want with love and clarity, free of attachment. In other words, if they don't give it to you, you can't blame them. You just have a choice. You either walk away or you stay where you are and you change your mindset. You have options. So all in all, the 4 keys to transforming victim mentality, and I am not saying this is easy, and I am not saying this is for the faint of heart. I am saying, if you're tuned in right now and if you're still watching, you are a powerful being of light. You are a beacon of light. The reason I make these videos is for you guys, because I know you so well, because I know myself so well. And I know the only thing that's going to transform our planet is us truly, truly going into our hearts and loving ourselves infinitely, beyond what is possible, but beyond what we think is capable. I love you, Tiffany. And you too, Tiffany, each of you, I know you, I just know you, and I know the power in you. And I know that together, whether you realize it or not, we're creating a massive transformation on the planet right now. And all it takes, you're so welcome, Hannah. All it takes is knowing that you taking care of you on a level that is what you wish for in a partner, what you wish for in somebody else to give you. You know, that false God thing I was talking about? When you give that and you supply yourself with that, it doesn't mean cutting out the world and not receiving. It doesn't mean turning the world off and saying, I can do it all myself. Oh, I'm so strong. Look, I'm really strong. It's not that at all. It's you can receive in abundance when you first know how to receive your own love and radical self-acceptance. So the reason I make these videos is because I believe that those of us who have endured challenging things that may be more empathic or more energetically sensitive or whatever you want to call it, I believe we're the wave, the generation, the next wave of leaders that need to be whole. We need to be free. It's time for us to rise. It's like that native proverb that says, they tried to bury us, they didn't realize that we were seeds. We're all these seeds of love and just radiance and light and purity and power. And it is our responsibility to drop the victim consciousness. Let it freaking go. Nobody's doing anything to you. Maybe they did in the past. The only person who's victimizing any of us right now is our own minds. And it is our job to, in an instant, let it go. To let it go. How do you let it go? Validate the victim, step 1. That means love that little girl inside. Let her know you get it. Or that little boy. Let him know you understand his pain. Number 2, own your power. Own the reality that you are a creative powerhouse. Number 3, let go of false gods, of any beliefs that in the future something's going to be better, and come into the present moment radically. Realize your God is here now. The present moment, it's everywhere. She's everywhere. He's everywhere. you are supported at all times. Look around, be present. The fourth is to take total responsibility of your life. And that means if you need to get a job, get a job. I'll never forget, last thing I'll say, taking total responsibility of your life is just being really good to yourself, putting up solid boundaries, get a job if you need to get a job, do the things you need to do to take care of yourself. And I'll never forget, at the end of my stint in Mendocino, I went to this incredible therapist who I've done videos with in the past, Steve Seiler, and he's incredible. And he looked at me, and I remember thinking, what am I going to do? I don't know how I'm going to support myself. How am I going to live on my own 2 feet? I don't have anything. I have no skills. And I was just totally spinning. And he goes, just get a job. And he said it so matter-of-factly and simply. I was like, right, just get a job. Like, it's not a big deal. Be present as you work at a grocery store, whatever it is. It's do whatever you need to do, and know that you are here to live your dreams and that it's a step-by-step process. So dropping the victim mentality is the greatest service we can do for everyone. And I believe in you. I believe in your leadership. I believe in your heart. I believe in the power that is within you. And that's it. That's it. I had to share this. And to the woman who's like out there who wrote me that email, my compassion runs really deep. And what I'll say is that we don't ever know how long things need to take in order to birth that diamond. And it really requires patience and trust. And asking, remember, true power, asking for what you want clearly and lovingly, free of attachment. So asking for support, going out there and asking for a job, really getting the support you need. And if you guys are wanting to break through in your life and you want to actually coach others, or maybe you're already coaching others, our Coach Lab starts this Saturday. And we're going to be going into how to unstick any coaching session with a client. But in the future, I think the 4th month, we're going to be going into this topic on victim mentality, in terms of a coaching sequence of how you can help another person step by step break through in a coaching session, break out of their victim consciousness, because this is the most common thing I find with clients. So if that's something that interests you, if you're an emerging or aspiring coach, then go to veronicacresto.com and you'll see Coach Lab. And we're meeting this Saturday at 11 Pacific time for 2 hours. It's going to be super powerful. But I love you guys. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Yes, I'm a little more serious today because I'm so passionate about this topic. It's time. It is time to rise. It is time for each of us to rise. And I just really love and appreciate you for being on this journey with me and Stella. Hi, baby. She's my little teacher. Talk about true power. All right, you guys. I think there were some comments. There were a lot of comments I missed. I'm so sorry. There we go. How about something that is ongoing? Yeah, the coaching lab is ongoing. It's every single month, once a month. It's a membership. We meet once a month, and Jason and I are literally there with you live. So we're teaching the lesson of the coaching lesson of the month, and then you're going to break out into rooms with a peer and you're going to practice, and then we're there to answer questions. Then you come back in and we literally guide you as you're coaching others in the world. You can come and ask us any questions. Like, this is our service. We're super excited to band with a bunch of coaches and support you to thrive. So that's ongoing. And then the other thing I have that's ongoing is a woman's circle. So Arash, that wouldn't work for you. However, the Coach Lab would. It is scary, but once you take that creator... Oh, there we go. Aww. I love you guys. I'm just reading all your comments. Aww. Yes. You are so welcome, you guys. You're so welcome. So Melissa says, yes, it is scary, but once you take that creator role, your life blossoms in an indescribable way. You guys, in an indescribable... I cannot believe my life today. If I could just go back in time and tell that younger me, even as young as 6 years ago, I would just say, honey, don't worry about a thing. Keep going. Let that fire burn you into a diamond and keep trusting, because I'm telling you, Your life is going to be way beyond what you can even design or vision. It is so much better. I mean, and it's not even, yes, the outer things in my life are incredible. I have an incredible marriage. We travel the world. We're headed to Europe in a few weeks. We live in Ojai, California. I have an incredible business and career that I love. Our community is off the charts. I mean, my health is perfect. But if all of that went tomorrow, you know what I have? I have presence. I have the ability to see the truth, and that's the most valuable thing in the world. That is true power. That's the opposite of victim mentality. So I love what you're saying. Oh, yes. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yes, yes. You're so welcome, you guys. Thank you for being here with me. And until next time, I love you guys. And if you want to join us for the lab, come and join us. It's going to be amazing. And it's very small right now. So it's going to be growing with time. So you're going to be one-on-one. You're going to be very, very direct with Jason and I and this group of people. So check it out. It's ridiculously affordable. And the tuition is going up next month. This is just the introductory thing, since we're just starting it out. So, and you'll be locked into the intro price, which is $79 a month, which is outrageous. I know it's very, very, very low. You'll be locked into that if you sign up this month. Okay, mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.